Namaste. I'm one thing that's likely to happen to me is that give me a little time, I'll change my mind. But I wanted to end this series of my videos with openness. Talk about the open heart and how important it is, and to close my message with that. But recently there's been something new, and it's going to be short and sweet and to the point. Growing up in my spiritual journey, my journey to now, here, or nowhere. Now, here, and nowhere is the same place, isn't it? Yes, it is. Trust me on that. But growing up with this, I was always considered myself spiritual warrior, aiming to be a sage warrior, and having reached that, come to that place of calmness and where you've transcended that there's no, that life is eternal, there's no death, no birth, and those fears and all the burdens of the ego and the monkey mind and everything is put in perspective, put in its place, not gotten rid of. You never get, everything is here, but it's just a matter of what you do, what you choose to do with it. And then I went through this I went through this period of being a sage, and there's ups and downs, because life is ups and downs. I had some, and a lot of times spiritual lessons can be really, really rugged, really tough. It's not an easy study. So you could get slapped around, you should be la-da-da-da-da, and all of a sudden, boom, and you got hit with something big. And the big thing that was hit with recently is that reality is what it is. And just because you look at it in a different way doesn't mean that that you're immune to reality. The reality that's necessary to keep this form alive is the reality I'm talking about. You can never dismiss it out of hand. What you have to do is expand your awareness to include those things that are less than, that you would consider spiritually detrimental. And they're part of reality, relationships with people and getting along with people, and you can cut most people out of your life, but certain people, blood relatives, wives, spouses, children, you can't really cut them out of that life. But what you have to do is look at the reality of all relationships are far from perfect, except the one that you have with yourself. And if you use that as a standard to measure everything else against, you're really in trouble. So remember, spiritual warrior to become a sage. Sage was just this leveling out. I thought you're kind of here and it's continuous, you knew that. But unanticipated lows, unanticipated reactions to things that you can't change, that are outside your purview. You can change how you feel about, how you think about them. But I've learned that you need to include them. You don't like somebody, but he's in your life a lot, or she's in your life a lot. So what you have to do is look at the reality of that and not deny your feelings and say, oh, I'm a sage now that I'm not supposed to feel this way. Of course you have all the feelings of a human being, because you are a human being. So you start to see that, reality doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it's far from perfect. But it can include, it can be expanded, and it can include things that you probably wish that it didn't have to. But it does. So again, I repeat myself. I began most of my life as a spiritual warrior. Warrior in the sense of the samurai sense, the Renzai Zen sense, the martial arts sense that I remember once what some acolyte, someone studying to become a monk told me once that, meditation is not la 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 land necessarily. It's a war. It's a battle. You need to sweat. Well, there's certain things in life that's a battle, that's a war that you need to sweat. Until you start learning that it's included. You reality doesn't contract, reality expands, right? And all the things that you have to deal with in your everyday life, as long as you're breathing in and out, and maybe, who knows, maybe long after you're breathing, not breathing in any longer or breathing out any longer, there's some of the same karma, some issues. I don't want to say karma because you've conquered karma, but relationships are tricky, right? They're just not karmic. Some of them are inherently part of your journey. Some spirit or some soul or some kindred or the antithesis or something has been with you for many, many lifetimes and will continue, I believe, into the ethos, into the realms beyond. Just as that drop of water, that when the ocean splashes up against a rock and that drop of water is for a while you're that drop till you're back in the merge in the whole, the ocean. But you'll be that drop again. On a different level maybe, but the same challenges. I mentioned before that personality seems to persist. It's the only thing that I can see that persists. So that's the kind of individuated drop back in the ocean. And perhaps, even though it's merged with the whole, perhaps something clings to that drop. Personality. Your sense of identity. Something about you in this current realm exists. So the sage was supposed to be smooth sailing, and I found that I had to deal with this expansion of realities, this additional elements that give me your druthers, you'd rather think that it's gone, but it's there. And it's about, that struggle was about changing. It's easy to say, oh, well, don't have to sit anymore, don't have to meditate, I meditate 24/7, blah, 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 blah. I'm the sage after all. Yes, but it's never stagnation. And then I came to some health challenges, and that's another part of expanding the realms of reality, the dimensions of reality, and the real reality, what is so, is expanding, and you have to add things to what you think is so, to what is so. So when I started having health issues, bad heart, borderline diabetic, had my 75th birthday, a lot of things about aging, and I just kind of, I took this kind of, what happens, I've had a good run, and if this is the end, because I felt like the end might be near. Okay, I felt at times that end would be near. And then I discovered that, So I went from warrior sage to sage. And I'm back to the name of this is Sage Warrior. I need to fight again. I need to fight. I need to fight because I'm not ready to, even though I've kind of given up and said, really, I've got work to do. At the very least, I have to put the closed captions to my 360 remaining videos. Have to correct them because even though YouTube does its best, their best is about 60 to 70%, but and you need to clean it up, and I want to finish that. And also, I mentioned before I have an orange cat. She's about 3, and my wife just gave me an ultimatum. She said, "You have to outlive the cat. You have to take care of that kitty because she's your kitty. You're going to take care of her until she's finished." So I started realizing that sage, that I had to get back those warrior characteristics. And that's what I mean by sage warrior. So from a warrior, a spiritual warrior. In the search, you have to be a warrior in the search of the spirit. Spiritual warrior, sage, and now I'm in the sage warrior. So I have to fight. I need to fight. I need to drop some weight. I need to exercise more. I need to take care of this physical form because I want to be around for a while. So I just want to end this with that. I look at you today as a sage warrior. Namaste.